You guys, I cannot even begin to explain how wild this is. We've waited years, literally years, for this day, and now, the agencies have finally spoken up. Before I break everything down, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any updates, because what I'm about to share will leave you with goosebumps. This isn't just another rumor floating around the internet, this is the truth, the behind-the-scenes reality of Wang and Shen Yu's relationship after Meteor Garden. Let's rewind for a moment, back to 2018. I know most of you remember where you were when you first watched Meteor Garden. The chemistry between Wang as Dylanwang and Shen Yu as Shen was absolutely electric. It wasn't just on-screen acting, it felt alive. The kind of connection that makes you forget these are actors reading a script and not two people genuinely falling in love. That's what made the drama such a massive success across Asia and even globally. From the very beginning, fans started asking the same question: are Dylan and Shen Yu together in real life? And honestly, who could blame them? The way Dylan would look at her in behind-the-scenes clips, the way Shen Yu would blush whenever he teased her, it was so natural, so raw. It didn't feel like just co-stars doing their jobs. It felt personal. But then came the silence. After the drama ended, both of them went back to their respective agencies, and suddenly, the magic we saw on screen just disappeared from the public eye. No more joint appearances, no more cute interviews, nothing. Fans were left confused and heartbroken. Why would two people with such undeniable chemistry go their separate ways so abruptly? And now, after years of speculation, we finally have some answers. Both Wang's and Shen Yu's agencies have quietly, yet clearly, addressed what really happened. And honestly, the truth is even more emotional than I expected. So here's what was revealed. Right after Meteor Garden blew up, both Dylan and Shen Yu were thrown into a whirlwind of fame they weren't fully prepared for. Dylan, especially, was skyrocketed to heartthrob status almost overnight. Agencies saw money, opportunities, and international stardom, and they immediately wanted to capitalize on it. That meant scheduling him for back-to-back projects, brand endorsements, photo shoots, interviews, the works. Shen Yu, meanwhile, was also in high demand, with offers pouring in for lead roles in dramas, variety shows, and endorsements. And while this all sounds like a dream come true, it came with a huge cost. They were separated intentionally. Their agencies believed that keeping them apart would maximize their individual careers. Think about it, if they were constantly tied together, people would only see them as Dylanwang and Shen. Agencies wanted Dylan to be seen as a versatile male lead, capable of carrying any project, and Shen Yu as a leading lady who could hold her own with different co-stars. In other words, they didn't want fans to box them in as just one couple package. And so, as painful as it sounds, their agencies stepped in and made sure they had minimal contact after Meteor Garden. Yes, you heard that right, it wasn't Dylan or Shen Yu's choice. It was their agencies pulling the strings. When I first heard this, I honestly felt a knot in my chest. Because you could see how much they cared for each other back then, but fame and industry politics forced them apart. Imagine building such a strong bond with someone during months of filming, only to have it cut short because of business decisions. That must have hurt both of them deeply. And here's where things get even more interesting. Insiders revealed that Dylan and Shen Yu did, in fact, stay in touch for a while after filming. They would check in on each other, send little supportive messages, and even meet up quietly when their schedules allowed. But as time went on, the pressure from their agencies, the non-stop schedules, and the media's constant speculation made it harder and harder to maintain that closeness. At one point, there were even rumors that Dylan had been told directly to avoid being too close to Shen Yu publicly, because it could limit his image. Can you believe that? It's heartbreaking to think that something as pure as a friendship, or maybe even something more, had to be hidden because of marketing strategies. But here's the part that really blew my mind. One agency insider recently admitted that the bond between Dylan and Shen Yu was undeniable and that despite the forced distance, they always lit up whenever the other's name came up in conversation. Shen Yu, apparently, once said that Dylan made filming feel like a real-life fairy tale. Meanwhile, Dylan reportedly told his staff that working with Shen was the easiest and happiest time he'd had on set. "I don't know about you, but hearing that gave me chills. It's like all our suspicions were right all along. The feelings, the connection, the magic, it was real." Of course, the agency's decisions did what they wanted. Both Dylan and Shen went on to star in other projects. Dylan took on more mature, intense roles, while Shen showed off her versatility in different genres. And fans are ready. Just scroll through social media right now, and you'll see the flood of comments like, "We've been waiting 5 years for this," or "This is the closure I needed, but I still want a reunion." Some even said, "Agencies can't stop love," which honestly made me smile because it shows how deeply people still believe in Dylan and Shen's connection. I also want to point something out: look at how protective fans are of them. When these agency revelations came out, most people weren't angry at Dylan or Shen. Instead, they were angry at the industry, at the way fame often robs celebrities of their personal choices. And that's such an important reminder: behind the glitz and glamour, these are real people with real emotions, who sometimes have to sacrifice their happiness for their careers. But here's the good news: times are changing. Agencies are starting to listen more to fans, and the power of fandom has never been stronger. If enough people continue to show support, continue to trend their names, continue to voice their wishes, there's a real chance we might see Dylan and Shen together again. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but someday soon. So, what do you think? Do you believe the agencies made the right decision back then to separate them for career growth? Or do you think they robbed us of one of the greatest real-life love stories we could have had? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I know this is going to spark some heated but passionate debates. At the end of the day, here's what I've learned from all this: the connection between Dylan Wang and Shen was never fake. It wasn't just acting, it wasn't just marketing. It was real, and it left a mark not just on them, but on all of us who watched them. Agencies may have kept them apart, but the memory of what they shared lives on, and maybe, just maybe, the future has more in store for them. So, to Dylan and Shen, if by some miracle you're watching this, thank you. Thank you for giving us a love story that felt real, one that still gives us butterflies years later. And to everyone watching, don't forget to subscribe, because if and when these two reunite, I'll be right here with all the updates, ready to scream and cry with you all over again. Until then, let's hold on to hope. Because sometimes, the best stories aren't the ones that end, they're the ones that keep us waiting for the next chapter.